Hey guys, welcome back. This is Sarah Benetton with Christina Umana, partnering with Community of Faith Church to bring you community counselors. Today we're going to go over some general information for you about anxiety and depression, about a few things that might be going on with your family during this time. So first off, I'm going to start with some signs of depression. Depression has a lot of different signs. It can be different for everybody. Kids, teenagers, adults, it's kind of different for each one. So one sign of depression is feelings of sadness, tearfulness, emptiness, or hopelessness. Another sign is angry outburst, irritability, or frustration, even with really small matters. This is especially a sign in kids. Kids get very angry, frustrated very easily, and explode. And it's very normal for kids to do that who have depression. Another one is a loss of interest or pleasure in most or all normal activities. Another one would be sleep disturbances. That's either sleeping too much or having problems sleeping, sleeping too little. You could be tired, have a lack of energy, even like the smallest of things take all of your energy. You can have a reduced appetite or weight loss, or you can be eating a lot and have a lot of weight gain. It just depends on what kind of depressed symptom shows up with that. You can have some anxiety or agitation, even some restlessness, slowed speaking, or body movements. You can feel worthless or guilt, focusing on things in the past that you've done that you can't control anymore. You can have some trouble thinking or concentrating, having a hard time making decisions, remembering any kind of thing. You can also have some frequent or recurrent thoughts of death or suicide. For anxiety, and usually anxiety and depression go hand in hand. You kind of have both if you have one. You can feel nervous, restless, or tense. You can have a sense of an impending doom, which basically means you could feel like something bad's going to happen very soon. You can have an increased heart rate. You can breathe very fast. You can sweat. You can tremble. You can feel weak or tired. You can have trouble concentrating on things or thinking about anything in the present without having to worry. You can also have some trouble sleeping, have some problems with your GI, like having stomach problems. And that's actually a thing that kids will express their anxiety through. They don't have the words to express that they're feeling anxious, so they'll say, like, I have a tummy ache or something like that. You can have difficulty controlling worry and have the urge to avoid things that trigger anxiety. So I listed a lot of symptoms there. You may not have any of them. You may have all of them. You may just have some of them to varying degrees of intensity. But if you are experiencing any persisting thoughts of suicide, wanting to hurt yourself or kill yourself, please reach out to the Suicide Prevention Hotline. The number is 1-800-273-8255, or call 911 in case of emergency. So I want to kind of move on to all these things I listed. They're pretty normal for people to have during this time. Not everybody will experience them, but it's very normal to have these kind of things because there's a lot of fear going around. There's a lot of fear about death, a lot of fear about people getting sick, getting hurt, not having enough money, not having enough to eat. There's just a lot, going on. So, and it also, as people, we sense other people's worry. We can sense when people are scared. Our bodies can actually, recognize that. May not even know it, but it does, and it gets you all worried too. So there are some cool things you can do to combat that, and we're going to talk about that later. But my last point I want to say is that this is only temporary. It may feel like you're in the middle of this, dark jungle, and it's going to last forever, but it's not. There's going to be an end to this kind of time. So I'm going to pass it on to Christina.
Good evening. Well, I'm going to focus on how to protect your family's mental health during this COVID-19 pandemic. This is unprecedented time for all of us. This takes these steps to help yourself and your kids cope. So I'm going to be focusing on how parents can help the mental health of the family. Many parents have shared concern about the impact of this virus epidemic, what it's having in the emotional health of their children and mental well-being. Kids and teens too are expressing their own worries about the impact of this in their lives. Fortunately, there are some steps you can take to protect families' mental health during this very difficult time. One thing that we encourage you to keep in mind is that know that this will end. it's temporary, it's not permanent. Just having that assurance will help you be able to function and focus. So although right now the pandemic feels endless, we need to remind ourselves and our kids that it won't be. It's not going to last forever. Although we don't have the specific timeline, the need for social distancing closures and life changes we are currently experiencing aren't permanent. Knowing this makes it much easier to cope. We talk about making social distancing and self-quarantine manageable. We want to see one thing that, in fact, there are two things that we notice a lot of families experience: stress and worry. Everybody experienced that because this is not normal. We are made to have relationship, to interact with people, but it's this self-quarantine, and it's created a lot of discomfort for a lot of people. So we encourage you to resist the urge to treat this as a time of vacation where so you wake up, you take time to wake up each morning at a regular time. Make sure your kids are awake at the same time each morning as well, as if was school or work day. Keep a regular bedtime routine as well. This will help both adults and kids feel more normalcy during the disruption and will also make it much easier to transition back to regular life. I know that there's a lot we might be throwing at you. Just take whatever works for you or work for your family. So don't feel pressure to remember everything. Create a schedule for yourself and your children for each day. So I know that the kids have schoolwork and they have time for online and learning. We don't think you are you are a teacher. We know it's not your role, but I know this is putting a lot of pressure on parents, thinking, oh, I'm not a teacher, I'm not a qualified teacher, I don't know what I'm doing with my kids. Take that pressure off yourself because nobody expects you to be an expert. You just do the best you can, call the teachers for help, and your kids will recover from this. They'll go back, teachers will teach them, they will be fine. So don't put too much pressure on yourself. Your family schedule should include physical activity. You can plan what you guys can do at home, whether play a game or do stuff inside the house, or you can go for a walk. I think as long as you don't stay in a crowd of 20 or more, how much is this? 10. Okay, sorry. Yeah, 10 or less. So you just take the kids for a walk around the block, and that would be good. It's a good thing to just get some fresh air. It will be helpful for them. They can ride their bikes too. So just try to make it as normal as possible. So limit your family's exposure to news. This is one thing that even for me as an adult, I just can't take this news every day. I can't watch it as much as some people do because you know yourself, you know it will impact you. And when kids are exposed to it, they don't understand what people are saying. They hear about people dying. That is very scary for them. So try to limit as much as you can, and especially for the kids, and because it might create anxiety for them. Younger children in particular can find the news scary. So set a limit on no more than a couple of hours per day for watching or reading about the coronavirus. Do not keep it on the background at home or in the car. Use technology for social interaction. Don't retreat from social interaction. Regular phone and video chatting with close friends and families is important for mental health. Every young children can and should play videos chat with grandparents, friends, and their cousins. This will keep them connected with people. Starting now, we make plans only for the very near future. See, don't try to plan for next month or 3 months. We can handle that. And they tell us that when you are in a very stressful situation, don't make life-changing plans. Put those on hold. Just focus on what you can do today. And 3 days is enough. Just don't worry about it because it will stress you out. Rely on official health recommendations to make difficult decisions. The health officials are the experts. They know what they are talking about. You hear all kinds of different channels telling you all kinds of things. It's very scary. So remember that you need to kind of dwell more on facts. Focus on facts. And the medical officials will give you those facts. And hopefully that will help deal with it. Acknowledge painful changes related to social distancing. So we know that how this is affecting our kids is real. And the fact that there's emotional loss during this time, you have parties are canceled, wedding postponed, birthdays are abandoned, funerals for people we love. Kids are scared, don't know what might happen. I think there was one kid who was asking, what will happen to grandma if something happened to her during this time? Is there anybody going to be with her when she dies or something? Those are real heart-crunching questions, and it's scary for the kids. But just give them simple answers that they can understand, and things will all work out, eventually. So just normalize their feeling, validate what they're experiencing, and tell them that they are safe. You are there to protect them. You do the best you can. Once a parent is able to control their own anxiety, the kids are okay. But when you are anxious and you seem out of control, it creates a lot of chaos around them. So know that anxiety and depression could get worse. I want to address the people with pre-existing condition, because those who are suffering from anxiety, like Sarah have addressed, will, this period exacerbates how they feel. So try to pay attention to that. Try not to pass on your own anxiety on the kids. So try to get help, connect with adults in your life, and reach out to counselors or whoever you can reach out to help you manage this time. For those who have pre-existing condition, now we see that if you contact your counselors, that you can do, they can give they can address your issues through telehealth on video, so you don't have to go into the office. And I also found out that most of the insurance company now, really, they're paying for that, so you're not scared about that. So it's important to kind of keep that in mind. Fortunately, in these unprecedented times, many therapists are offering to counsel clients through telehealth, like I said. So feel comfortable to contact your counselor. And you don't have to leave home, so you can be in the telehealth through your phone or iPad or whatever you have. That will be helpful. So, and most of the therapists are really working hard to make sure that they have a secured, HIPAA-compliant platform to do this counseling. So Don't be afraid about your confidentiality, because I know they will take good care of that. So we really appreciate you joining us today, and we hope that some of this information that we have given you will be helpful. And also you can reach out to us and ask us any question you might have, and we'll do our best to address them.